Jericho, a city fortified by fear, armored by arrogance, and surrounded by stone walls so thick they were thought to be unbreakable. But then, without a single weapon fired, those mighty walls crumbled. How did it happen? Not by sword, not by siege, but by faith. This is the story of how the wall of Jericho fell. The people of Israel had been wandering the wilderness for 40 years. Now led by Joshua, the faithful servant of Moses, they stood at the edge of the promised land, and in their path, the city of Jericho. High walls, armed guards, an intimidating obstacle that screamed, "You shall not pass." But God had other plans. He spoke to Joshua. "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, its king and all its fighting men." Notice something. God said, "I have delivered," not "I will." Before the battle even began, God declared victory. But what came next didn't sound like a military strategy. March around the city once a day for 6 days. On the 7th day, march 7 times, then blow the trumpets and shout. No ladders, no battering rams, no siege towers, just silence, marching, and faith. Every day the Israelites circled the walls, not speaking, not attacking, just walking. And inside Jericho, the people watched from the walls confused, maybe mocking, but God was writing a different kind of story. On the 7th day, everything changed. The people woke up early. The air was heavy with expectation. They marched not once, not twice, but 7 times around the city. Then at Joshua's signal, the priests blew the trumpets. The people let out a thunderous shout. And suddenly, the unthinkable happened. The walls began to shake. Cracks split through the stone. And in a moment of divine power, Jericho's walls collapsed. Just like that, a city that seemed invincible was reduced to rubble. But one part of the wall remained untouched. The home of Rahab, a woman of faith. She had believed in Israel's God. She had tied a scarlet cord to her window, as promised. And when the dust settled, she and her family were safe. God's mercy stood firm, even when stone crumbled. So how did the walls of Jericho fall? Yes, God performed a miracle, but the real victory began days earlier. With obedience, with trust, with a nation willing to follow, even when the plan made no sense. This wasn't just about a city falling. It was about a people finally learning to walk with God. They didn't win by might. They won by marching in faith. Jericho's fall teaches us some powerful truths. Number 1, God's ways are higher than ours. Sometimes His instructions may seem strange, but His wisdom never fails. Number 2, faith requires obedience, even in silence. For 6 days, they walked without results, but they kept going. Number 3, victory often begins long before we see it. God had already given them the city before the first step was taken. Number 4, God keeps His promises to nations and to individuals. Just as He saved Israel, He also saved Rahab. The walls of Jericho were no match for the power of God, and neither are the walls in your life. When you walk in faith, when you trust God's timing, every stronghold can fall, just like Jericho. Do you have any obstacles standing on your way? Comment below and say the walls are falling. If you believe God, your obstacles will crumble. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to help spread this message.